Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of Easy Buckets. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In today's video, I got something that I guarantee you guys are going to love, especially if you're a big Lakers fan. We're going to be talking about the Lakers' end of the bench roster, talking about one player that I believe they must sign. As I make this video, the Lakers only have Dwight Howard and Marc Gasol, and I believe targeting one more to fill out their team and have great depth. The player I'm suggesting today makes a lot of sense. So if you're a big Lakers fan and want to know the perfect target when it comes to a front court nightmare, you're gonna love this video. Let's get into it. With the Lakers only having 12 players on their roster, I see them making moves very soon. After being very busy during the beginning of free agency, the Lakers were very quick to target their most favorite free agents. And right now, with things slowing down, I do believe Rob Pelinka is thinking a lot, trying to make sure his final moves make a lot of sense. It has to be impactful and, more importantly, beneficial for the future. And that's why my target today makes a lot of sense. When talking about the Lakers roster as a whole, I do believe their glaring weakness is having a third center behind Marc Gasol and Dwight Howard. And with Marc Gasol and Dwight Howard both being in the category of old players, veteran players, I do believe signing a third center off the bench that is in the category of youth, young development, is going to be important for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers. I do believe their final signings are going to be towards that. And right now, with there not being a lot of good quality free agents available, you have to dig deep and find the perfect option. And that's why I'm categorizing this guy as a sleeper. Somebody no one's really talking about, but in my previous videos, I've seen some of your comments. You guys have suggested the Lakers targeted him. And that player is Isaiah Hartenstein. And if you don't know who this player is, that's why I'm here. I did my research, and now we're going to talk about why he's a perfect fit for LA. To give you guys a quick introduction, Isaiah was a part of the NBA for 3 years. He was drafted in 2017 by the Houston Rockets at the 43rd overall pick. He's currently 23 years old, listed at 7 feet, weighs about 250 pounds, and is listed as a center and power forward. He's one of the rare left-hand shooters at the center position and is known to be a very sneaky center. When talking about last season, he was with the Houston Rockets, then went to the Denver Nuggets, and then after getting bought out, he went to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And in the 16 games he played with Cleveland, Isaiah was phenomenal. Last year, he averaged about 8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, nearly 3 assists per game, 0.5 steals per game, 1.2 blocks per game. Playing only in 18 minutes, Isaiah Thomas is a pretty well-rounded. These numbers are pretty impressive. A center in the NBA that can be a great consistent playmaker. There was a stretch with the Cavs that Isaiah actually averaged about 5 assists per game, and a big man that can pass at a high efficient level, similar to a Nikola Jokic, but a young one. Guys, there's a lot of room there for development. As I mentioned earlier, he's known to be a very sneaky center. Make sure you add playmaker in there, but look at his defensive stats. Averaging about 0.5 steals and 1.2 blocks per game, Isaiah Thomas is known to be a two-way center, a young one that could get even better. Going into the league, he wasn't known to be a very mobile and athletic center, but over the years, he's gotten really good at it and is known to be a better pick-and-roll defender. After being drafted in 2017 and coming from Germany, he wasn't put on the list as a must-own type of player. But after putting up some amazing numbers with the Cavaliers, who we all know has a very crowded frontcourt, they have Jared Allen, Kevin Love, Larry Nance Jr., and they had JaVale McGee. In my opinion, Isaiah put up some good numbers. If you watch Isaiah play, he's a very smart and sneaky player. He has pretty good speed when it comes to being mobile and being active. He's known to be a good floor spacer. Last year for a big, last season he averaged about 33% behind the three-point line. This isn't elite, but a big man that can score sometimes and be a threat. There are some nights where Isaiah scored 50%. With his size, he's a pretty good rim protector and is known to be a two-way big man project. After opting out of his player option this summer, Isaiah wanted an opportunity to shine on another team. But as we speak, no NBA team has signed him. And that's why I believe Rob Pelinka comes in, roll the dice on him. He's a low-risk, high-reward type of vibe. If you guys want an idea of a good NBA comparison, Kristaps Porzingis is a better version of Isaiah Hartenstein, and Isaiah, if he could develop, could be similar to KP. KP is known to be a great floor spacer, shoot threes at a high efficient clip, and also his rim protection is elite. But when it comes to his weakness, being dominant in the paint, Kristaps Porzingis has the exact same weakness as Isaiah. Isaiah would settle on floaters rather than attacking the basket and using his body. Of course, with KP being a fan favorite, a unicorn in the NBA, during this past postseason, he's getting a lot of negative feedback on how he wasn't aggressive. And I do believe right now that's a big factor on Isaiah. Even though he brings all these other factors to the table, if you're not aggressive in the paint, basketball is a physical game, then you're not going to get a good contract and be consistent. Kristaps Porzingis is listed at 7'3". Isaiah is 7 feet. So imagine Isaiah as a shorter but almost similar playing style to KP, but not as aggressive. Another fun fact for Isaiah is that he used to play with Russell Westbrook on the Houston Rockets. During the year the Houston Rockets went for a small ball lineup, they started Robert Covington at power forward and PJ Tucker at center. Isaiah Hartenstein was a center off the bench for the Houston Rockets. And if you watch those games, there were so many times when Russell Westbrook and him had such amazing chemistry. Russell Westbrook on those drive and kicks, those pick and rolls, and I do believe playing with him again, the chemistry will come back. The Lakers love to run the pick and roll action, especially with Anthony Davis. Speaking of Anthony Davis, AD just signed a new contract extension, and maybe signing a young 23-year-old center to kind of be in the same talent as AD. Isaiah would start off being the third string center off the bench, but if he does get better, play small minutes but also be beneficial and a start in his role, he could get a new contract and then become the new future center with Anthony Davis. Of course, another big part about signing Isaiah is how he can learn a lot from Marc Gasol, with Marc Gasol being a 7-foot center that can space the floor and be a good defender. I do believe Marc Gasol can be a good mentor and teach the young 23-year-old. One thing's for sure though, I do believe if the Lakers look at Isaiah, he would be an absolute steal for the veteran's minimum contract. Think about this, guys. Last season, if Isaiah Hartenstein played well with Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, and Jared Allen, imagine how good he will be playing with Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Look at that comparison. So yes, guys, this wraps up my video today, talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and why I believe they should target Isaiah Hartenstein. But I do want to quickly put this out there though, when it comes to a development point of view, a lot of Laker fans do like the Isaiah idea, but there is another center they love, and that's Harry Giles, a more athletic type of center. He's listed at 6'11" and brings more to the table when it comes to being physical, but not as much when it comes to being an actual good rim protector. So the question is, do you want more of a rim protector of Isaiah Hartenstein, or do you want more of an overall center that brings more to the table and an athletic body? Of course, I do believe Isaiah shoots better than Harry Giles, but Giles just brings in that high energy. What do you guys think about that as well? Isaiah Hartenstein or Harry Giles? Make sure to let me know your thoughts on that. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Should the Lakers target Isaiah Hartenstein? Is he a great overall target when it comes to their end of the bench? Or do you believe they should target big names like Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge, and of course a popular one of Harry Giles? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on Easy Buckets. Woo!